I am preparing a quick hearty tomato soup. Very easy. Some tomato puree, one tomato just to keep it kind of fresh, and I'm going to saute half an onion, half a large onion, and 2 to 3 pods of garlic. Alright, and get the pan hot. I'm going to use a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and just to let that get hot, to pop in the onions and garlic. We're going to let that saute. Now the onions are sizzling away, I'm going to add a few of these packets. As I said, 5 of us, and each of these packets is about 135 grams. Should be equal to about 1 cup of soup per person. I'm going to squeeze that directly into the pot. I've also got a pot of hot water on the boil at the same time, so that once I've slightly sauteed the tomato paste, I'll add a little bit of water to allow, just to dilute it a little bit, so it isn't too thick, and then reduce it again so that it'll cook through. So I've got the 5 packets of puree. Each of those packets are about 135 grams into the pot, and I'm just going to give it a quick stir here to get that nice and mixed up with the onions, and just to kind of fry the tomato up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of water to that just to thin it out. To this I'm going to add about 300 milliliters of water. There you go, put that in. And give that a quick stir. Oh, that's bubbling nicely. That just thins out the tomato into a lovely soupy texture. Now it's nice and thick. We're going to just lower the fire down to about half the full heat and add another 200 milliliters of hot water to it. Stir that in as well. Now I'm just going to lower that to the lowest heat. It's going to take it off for a bit so that it will cool down a little bit. We're going to add about a teaspoon of salt just to get the flavor in, and then keep on adding as much as I think will be needed. Maybe another teaspoon. Soup still feels a bit thick to me. I'm going to add in another 200 ml because this particular puree seems to be exceptionally thick. You do get some tomato purees that are much thinner as well. This one was quite thick. And you can keep adding as much water to the amount, to the texture you think you would prefer to have your soup at. That looks a lot nicer. Now that the soup is pretty much cooked, just going to add a tomato to that, just to kind of freshen it up. And I've also plucked up some fresh basil from the garden to add to that. Now you could add fresh coriander or oregano, thyme, anything that would sort of just release itself where as soon as it touches the soup, especially that when you're going to serve it. and you get that lovely smell to go along with the soup. All right, tomatoes are chopped and the basil. I'm just going to slip that into there quickly. No special preparation. In it goes. Stir it in and put the fire off. And just let that simmer in there. Oh, it's phenomenal. Amazing. Just a quick taste. Some more salt. And I'm going to plate this, and once it's done I'm going to show you what it could look like. Maybe some cream. It's all good.